Okay, so I'm here with this nice dude. He just walked up to me on the street, said hello, and I think he's got an interesting story for you guys. So I'm going to be hearing everything you hear right now for the first time with you. All right, bud.
Go ahead.
All right. So you came up, you said hello to me, literally a minute or two
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Right?
I came up to you because I speak English and I can express myself better in English. I speak more English than Spanish. All my life I've been in the States, and I've been deported 6 weeks ago. Trump deported me, and I'm just going around because I don't have no family here. I've been deported, and I'm just reuniting a couple of bugs because just panhandling because I don't have no family here, and you just reuniting for money, for food, and
So talk to me a little bit. So your name is Leonardo.
Leonardo.
How old are you?
I'm 32 years old from 92, August 2nd, 92.
And where were you born and raised?
I was born in the city here in Guatemala. When I was 3 years old, I was born in the military hospital. My dad was strict. He used to beat up my mom and everything. And I had an uncle that he lived in California, in Pomona. And he came down here, and then one time he was hitting my dad, and he took us to the States. I was 3 years old. And then we ended up staying. I went over there with a visa and everything, and we ended up staying in the States. And I was never able to get a residence or get a social or anything like that, and it was always hard. And 8 years I worked. I'm an iron worker. I worked in the union. I worked Cooper Steel.
So let me ask you a question. Let's rewind a little bit.
Go ahead.
So your dad and your mom, get pregnant, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're together at this point, right?
When I was like 3 years old.
Okay, so well, hold up a second. So I'm saying, so your dad got your mom pregnant, right? In Guatemala City.
In Guatemala City.
In 1992. 92. And then what happens there during the course of the pregnancy? They're together.
That's another interesting. The reason I think I'm small, I was born when I was 6 months. My mom was 6 months pregnant.
Right.
Because me and my brother were apart a couple of months because
you were born premature.
Premature, exactly.
Yeah.
My mom, she was C-section, so when she was pregnant, her stitches were I guess opening up and stuff like that. And they told her that what she had to do was abort me, but she didn't want to.
Wow.
She ended up having me, and then they had me in a little incubator for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And then I came out of that, and then.
And so then you lived the first couple of years of
Guatemala.
your life here in Guatemala.
Here in Guatemala,
and then at some point your mom and your dad decided to make the trek to America, or like
you want me to be honest? What happened?
Yeah, bro. I hope you
sure?
can tell I'm an honest person, bro.
Well,
I just whatever your truth is, I'm interested.
And it's embarrassing because no dad should have done what he did to us. He put the gun to my mom's head. It's 3 of us. It's 3 boys. I have a little brother and an older brother. I'm the middle child. So my dad was, really, really, I guess, drunk or whatever. And then my mom was getting a sofa or maybe what is it? How do you say it? A colchón. How do you say it? A mattress. She was putting a mattress in the room with somebody else, and then my dad got pissed. So my dad's military. My dad was a colonel. He already passed away, and then he comes and
he was military in Guatemala.
Here in Guatemala, I was 3 years old. I don't remember, but that's what happened. I mean, my uncle was there and everything, and then boom, my dad pulls out the gun and then puts the gun onto our head, and then he starts struggling with the gun. That's what I told you. I'm gonna tell you. They start like forcing with my uncle, and then they get the gun, and then takes the gun from my dad, and then boom, from there, my uncle said, "Fuck, I'm sorry."
No, please just talk.
He's like,
curse as much as you fucking want.
He's like, "Fuck that! I'm taking my sister away from this crazy motherfucker," because my dad was crazy. He military guy, and then back in the day, back in the 90s, especially here, and then boom, it was a big old house, so they got all into fighting and everything, and then my mom played my dad. He's like, we're just gonna go visit my grandma, because my grandma used to live in the States before she passed away. And then we ended up leaving to the States. My dad was military, so it was easy for us to get a visa. So I was 3 years old, and they took us to the States, all 3 of us. My little brother was a year old, I was 3 years old, and my older brother was 4.5, something like that, you know. And
So if you were born 92, we're talking 95 more or less
uh
at
huh.
this point.
And then
And then you ended up where, in Pomona?
No, no,
You
no,
said?
no,
Or
no.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
we first lived in Florida.
Okay.
We lived in Florida, in Tampa. In Tampa, we lived like 6 months, and then they didn't want to take us to California because I had an uncle that I know you see me with tattoos, but it says "fuck love" and my parents' name and stuff like that. But my uncle was locked up. You know how the gangs are with Hispanics in California, right? So they didn't want to take us there, you know. So we went to Tennessee, to Nashville. I had another. My grandma had 9 kids here in Guatemala. My mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, I don't know them at all, you know. And then they took us to the States because my grandma has been living there for like 30 years, you know. And then we went over there and we ended up staying. So I had a visa, and then I got my high school diploma. I got 2 kids in the States. I'm a welder, you know. And then and people think like, oh, why you get locked up? Why you get deported for driving without a license? And to be honest, I was on my way to work and I was going fast, and then the police clocked me, and then I got pulled over, and then started asking me about immigration and all that. I don't have his social or anything like that, and so he took me into custody, right? And once he took me into custody, I did like 5 days, and I was happy because I was about to get out. And then before I got out, he's like, hey, hold on, go into this office, and I go in that office, and ICE is immigration.
So they released you into
ICE custody. But if I was, you know, American, or if I had a social, I would have been, you know, regular. You know, just 5 days and I would have been out. But no, they put me in ICE custody, and then they just started asking me where I came in and everything. And then, to be honest, my baby mama, my baby mama took me out of jail, $5,000, and they took me out. And then after that, I was out, right, fighting my case, you know. And then I signed a voluntary departure, which is for me to get out the country. They gave me a specific date, and I ended up staying like that. I didn't leave. And then I got pulled over again, and I was with my daughter, and then they took me into custody again, and then they just called my daughter's mom to come pick up the baby and everything. They took me into custody, and then I was 8 months locked up in immigration fighting my case. And then I was about to get out once Trump got elected. And then as soon as Trump got on the White House, it was January 3rd, once they told me you're going in the plane. They put my name on the list to come to Guatemala. And I have never been here since I was 3 years old.
You were like on one of the first deportation flights to Guatemala.
From Trump.
Yeah, from Trump.
From this second term that he got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember hearing about that, like right when he got into office. It was like, I think one of the first deportation flights there was 1 or 2 planes to Guatemala. I remember.
I'm one of those people that were in that plane. It was like 30 of us. And you know, and I've never been to El Salvador or Honduras. We came from Tennessee. We went to Louisiana. From Louisiana, we went to Brownsville, Texas. And from Texas, we went to El Salvador. From El Salvador to Honduras. From Honduras to Guatemala.
Why so many?
I don't know. They should
dropping people off.
They were
Honduras and El Salvador from the flag.
Yeah, and then and you're shackled up from head to toe. You're like this, shackled up. 3-4 hours on the plane, shackled up, and deported. And I mean, I was born here, but I mean, like, I feel like my home is in the States, you know. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm so used to, you know, I had a car since I was like 15 years old, and, you know, I worked all my life over there, and then I come here, and then everything's hard. I don't have no family here. My parents already passed away 2 years ago, and all I have is my kids and my baby mama. But my baby mama, we already split up, and as soon as I got locked up, she got pregnant by another guy. And I'm here, you know, and I don't have no family. And what I'm trying to do, to be honest, and I know it's illegal, but I mean, I'm trying to go back illegally, even if I have to suffer, just to, you know, get back to my kids, you know?
Well, listen, I'll be honest with you. I think anybody who has a heart would understand. That's not to say they would condone it or say they agree with you, you know, you breaking the law, or they don't agree. But I think anybody who has a heart and understands that you have kids in the U.S., I imagine you love your kids.
Of course, and it's crazy how you can't go back to the States. And if you go back in the States illegally, it's something illegal. For me to go back to another country, and I get mad sometimes, how can people from the States can come here in Guatemala like nothing, and then I cannot go back? I know I've been deported. I mean, like I've never been in trouble, and never. I got tattoos and everything, but I mean, it's because I like tattoos. Don't think that I'm, that I'm all this and that. 'Cause people misunderstand my tattoos or maybe my way of looking and stuff like that. But I'm a very honest guy. I'm a hardworking guy. I've been welding and I've been looking for a job here. But the only reason they don't give me a job is because I don't have an ID from here, first of all. And what you see me with, I got like 2 jeans and like 3 shirts and stuff like that.
So bring me back to the flight. So you arrive here. So they know. So let's rewind even further. So you're in. You're locked up for 5 days or whatever it is on maybe excessive speeding ticket, something like
For
that.
tickets, yeah, or excessive speeding and driving without a license.
Okay.
Too many citations I already had.
Yeah, that's fine. But I guess what I'm interested in is then they release you into ICE custody. Then so begins 8 months of detainment.
Immigration.
Where were you locked up?
In Kentucky.
Where?
I don't remember. I think it's called Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the facility?
The name of the facility, I do. No, but the only facility I remember where they took me and they had me a couple of days before getting locked up is Valverde. And that's the name of that's in Texas.
I'm surprised that you don't remember the name of the facility
In Kentucky.
Because if you were locked up there for so long.
But it was no. It just you're just passing through. It was in Kentucky, but you just from Tennessee they took me to Kentucky. From Kentucky to Louisiana. From Louisiana you travel like that.
That's like that.
In the bus, and then you're all shackled up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood because I thought you were locked up for 5 days on whatever your driving
in
stuff
Tennessee.
was.
In Tennessee, 5 days.
Then I thought
immigration.
and then I thought you ended up like 8 months or
fighting the case
fighting
after.
the case. Oh, but you were released
Into ICE custody.
But so you were in ICE custody for those 8 months or no?
Yeah, in ICE. But then I went from ICE in Tennessee. They took me from Tennessee from Kentucky to Louisville, and from Louisville. But I was already in Texas where I did like 4 or 5 months the rest of my time because that's where the big immigration, the GEOs. I don't know if you've noticed the GEOs. That's what it's called, the immigration prisons.
Okay.
It's called a GEO, and that's where you go and fight your case, right? And then from there, I don't have a social, and then Trump got in the house, and then boom. So from there, from Brownsville, I got sent back here.
So I'm gonna have a couple questions for you, and I guess I'll throw them out, and then I'll let you answer in whatever order you want. So first of all, I'm surprised that U.S. government felt they had enough, information on you to report you to deport you to Guatemala. So they're like, okay, we know you're born here. I'm sure maybe you told them, I don't know. And then, that's enough for the Guatemalan government to accept you because, of course, they have to agree to accept the plane, right? But then you get here, but then I'm surprised that they don't give you ID. So that's a question for you. And
in Guatemala, everything's money. So welcome to Guatemala. Once you get here, your DPI is 100 or 200 quetzales to get your DPI. So
what's a DPI? Just for
your ID.
Okay, it's called the DPI.
I don't know how to say it because I don't. In Spanish, it's un DPI. It's like saying your ID, right? So here is called DPI, not ID. And then once you get here, you get come on the airport in Zone 13 in Guatemala City. You come and then they take fingerprints and everything to make sure that you don't, that you've never been in trouble here. And then if you owe something, and then you put your. But I was 3 years old when they took me to the States. They never had my fingerprints, so they just let me go. And then I've been in the streets ever since. 6 weeks ago.
Let me just back up just a little bit more, and then we can come back to present time. So, listen, I'm 41. I would say I've been paying attention to politics probably closely only since first Trump term.
42.
I paid some good attention. I paid some attention during Barack Obama's term, 2 terms, and but I was younger at the time, and I guess what I'm trying to get at here is he had that was it DACA? It was a deferral program
Dream
for
Act.
for the Dream
The
Act for
Dream
kids
Act.
who were brought here, and so I'm wondering if you can kind of share a little bit with
About the
me
Dream
and people who may be watching this who don't know, like what sort of protections you had during that time, and then
Well,
what happened to
when the
those
Dream Act
protections.
came in, I wasn't eligible. I was already, like, I wasn't eligible because I was how can you say it? I don't know how to explain it to you, but I wasn't, because I had a visa and I ended up staying here, so it's harder. There's people that go illegally, and then they go to high school and everything, and then they get the DACA, the Dream Act, but since they don't have like no, they never been in trouble or anything like that. They didn't have no visa, because it's penalized you coming in the States and staying with the visa. So that's the only thing that made me everything hard for me to get a social, for me to get a residence, because I ended up staying here.
Well,
So I didn't apply for the DACA.
but when you say you ended up staying here, are you referring to here in Guatemala or here in the
No, 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 no,
U.S.?
no, no. In the States.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But I mean,
It sounds like you're so fresh here to Guatemala. You're casually saying like I ended up staying here, but
no, no,
here
no.
is
But I'm
Guatemala.
speaking of staying in the States.
I know, and I empathize with you, man, because it sounds like you've
Well,
been dealt a fucking major fucking shift, and so I'm noticing that when we're talking, you're talking
here,
about here,
but I mean the
but you're
States.
referring to the U.S. as we're sitting here on the steps.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're all good, bro. Please don't apologize. But it's trippy for me because here we are in Florida, Guatemala,
And I'm saying here.
and you're talking about here, meaning the U.S.
No, yeah, yeah.
So because you just arrived. You
Six-
get-
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
And that's and I've been staying at the park, and I know people are like, oh, you got Nike shoes, but these shoes, somebody let me have them. I had sandals on. When I got here, I didn't have anything, no clothes. I had the county clothes, the immigration clothes. The blue shoes and
That's what you arrived in Guatemala with
the white
US,
shirt,
with U.S. county.
clothes, yes, white boxers, white socks.
Wow.
And then I met some guys, and they bought me some clothes and stuff like that, and they paid me like 3 nights at the hotel. They took me to get a haircut, and they bought me food and stuff like that. And
And who's that? Like, are these people like at Zone 13? Like when you
no. This is just recently, because this is
you
the
touch
clothes.
down. Where do you touch down in Guatemala City?
Guatemala City, Zone 13,
Yeah.
Aurora, the airport. But it's Aurora. You got Aurora, and then you got the Air Force. So you come in the Air Force site.
I see.
So and then when you come shackled up, and then they take you into ICE here in Guatemala, Immigration Guatemala, and then you go into the office, and then they take your information down, and then they just.
What's the vibe? What's the vibe with the Guatemalan military that's receiving you, or the Guatemalan government?
Well, to be
officials
honest, Guatemala.
that received you, like honestly.
Honestly,
How do you
to
feel?
be honest, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about Guatemala or anything, but I mean, they gave us food, and the only thing that they didn't help us out with is once you get out of that office, you're on your own. Once you're in the office, and then once they taking your information while you're waiting, they're gonna give you a sandwich. They're gonna give you, some juice and then a little bit of food, but they don't give you any clothes. Once you get out, you're on your own. They just make sure that they just take your fingerprints down and make sure that the people that's arriving in Guatemala, they've never been in trouble, so they just take your fingerprints, and then if you don't have anything, well, you're on your own.
Wow. So bring me into that moment. So you're getting processed. How long did you get processed for, from the time you touched down to the time you were free?
Well, once we got off the plane, it took like 3 hours because it was a lot of people, and then you got to go get your. When I came from jail, from over there from custody, so I had on my little bag where I got another boxer, another white socks and stuff like that, and then they just write down everything you have, and then where you from and everything like that. And then some people, depending on where you're from, they try to help you once you're from far away, but since I was from the city, they cannot do anything for me because I'm in the city. I was born in the city and I got deported to the city. So imagine if I was from.
So they figure you're already home.
Yeah, you're home, and then but there's people that they help them out. Immigration helps people out. Imagine that you get deported, and you're from Shamuk Champagne, You heard?
Yeah.
They'll try to give you, bus money to get to your house, but it's rare for them to do that, because majority of the people, they come here, and then some people, they have already family waiting for them and stuff like that, and I didn't have anybody waiting for me because I don't have no family here. Since I was 3 years old, they took me to the States, and my parents.
Wow, man. So you're just suddenly homeless in Guatemala
Yeah.
with no family, no friends. You don't know anyone.
Nothing.
That's your situation.
Nothing. I don't know.
Honest to God.
Yeah, honest to God, on my daughter's life. I don't have no family here, and I've been staying in the streets for a couple of months now. Almost 2 months, 2, 3 months, 6 weeks, and just panhandling,
Yeah.
trying to survive. And I've been working sometimes where you unload vegetables, and they pay you $75, but you have to unload like an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And then
75 quetzales? Or
75, yeah, not dollars. I wish it was dollars. If it was dollars, oh my God.
For
Oh,
the
yeah,
United
yeah.
States audience that may be watching this.
75 quetzales, which is
so
it's
for the people watching this, you're talking about 100.
No, less.
You're talking about 7.7 quetzales to the dollar,
which is maybe
so
like
what,
$10.
10 bucks.
Like 10
And
bucks.
so what? That's for an entire day's worth of work.
Yeah, for entire days of work.
Unloaded.
Pleasure food, food. But they, vegetables they give you. Like, hey, put some lemon on the what is it called? On the lettuce, the tomato. You get what you want.
Where's this? Well,
In the terminal, and where they sell all vegetables. Maybe you heard of Fuente Norte?
Yes.
Well, in Fuente Norte, there's like a little supermarket, mercado, what they say here.
Yeah. In Capi, in the capital city.
No. I'm talking about here. You talking about how I've been working here sometimes, a day,
No,
per day.
I thought you were referring to a zone where I caught the bus from.
In the city,
It sounded familiar to the
terminal.
Yeah.
No, but
There's
the terminal means just like a bus station.
See.
But there's terminals everywhere, And in Guatemala City, I live a lot. I've been more here, and I've been to Mexico. I got sent back from Mexico. Not sent back, but then there was immigration, and then we had to come back to Guatemala,
So, bro, what's the future? Like, what are you going to do, man? What are the ideas? You got to have ideas.
No. Well, first of all, what I want to do right now is, just go to Mexico, and then from Mexico, try to get into Texas.
Yeah, that's
and
the plan.
From what is it called? Eagle Pass.
Okay.
Eagle Pass in Del Rio.
Okay.
And try to get back into the States for my kids,
Shit.
And it's crazy, because I hate it here, even though I'm from here, but people here are nice, but I'm so used to, this heat. I hate the heat. I'm always sweaty, and it's hard because I don't have no fan. I don't have nowhere to stay. And over there, at least, it's easier for me to get a job over there than get a job here. Over there, I used to get a job quick, because I'm a welder, and then I used to just go and apply and stuff like that. Or I had friends that.
You don't think if you have welding skills, you don't think it would be as easy for you to find work here?
Here,
I know you're not
welder,
going to make the kind of money that you
a welder
made in the
here
US,
does not make. It's better for me to, try to get a job because of my English. Because there's a lot of people that tell me, you're in Flores, you can be a tourist guide and this and that. But my kids, and then I talk to my daughter. I get on Facebook. I don't have a phone or anything like that, but I go on the internet. Here they have it where you pay a couple of quetzales and then you get like 20 minutes on the internet on the computer. And then I talk to my daughter, and then she just starts crying like, you don't want to see me? Why are you so far? But she's 12. She doesn't understand that. What's being illegal like, or not having the social, not being able, catch a plane. But why you just don't, get on the bus, get on the plane, and come see me? And it's not that easy, And it's sad for me, and it's hard. But what I'm trying to do is get back to the States. That's my plan.
I can't judge you for
And get back to the States and then be smart about it. Now that I know that I could get deported and stuff like that, go back to the States and then send money here, because there's a lot of people that go back to the States and then send money here,
But
Open a bank account, open my bank account, and then from over there you can deposit onto your own bank account. You get it?
From the U.S.?
From the U.S.
From with Western Union or something like that?
No, just a transfer. Imagine if I I used to have Bank of America. So from Bank of America, I get on my phone, and then I just do the transfer to Guatemala. There's applications.
And then what? And then you figure your money is safer there safer here from siege for like
From the
whereas
States,
it might
because
get seized in the
imagine,
US.
imagine again, I get deported,
Yeah.
and then I come here, and then I already have a little bit of money, on my bank account. That's my plan.
Think ahead.
Get back to the States, send money here, so hopefully I do not get deported, but once I get deported, or if anything happens, I'm not able to, get my citizenship or my residence. So
It's crazy, man. I mean, I empathize with you because you didn't choose this.
No.
You didn't choose to be born into this situation. Like, you were raised in the U.S., and I don't think I have the moral high ground to judge anyone. Let alone
but
your mother or your father. I mean, you're telling me stories about your father that are obviously troublesome, but we won't even go there. But I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine just growing up and all you know is being illegal.
And-
Is having no documentation. Like, you
And-
didn't
and I
do
remember-
anything to deserve
Exactly.
the situation. You were just born into it.
But-
And then that's all you know is the United States of America,
but I'm illegal.
but you're illegal. You're illegal.
But I'm human.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think just because I'm from another country, I should not have the opportunity to stay. They're like, okay, he grew up here. It's not his fault that they brought him here. They brought me. I was 3 years old. It's not like I'm like, no, I don't want to go.
So, all right. So, let's kind of talk a little bit about some of the mechanics of growing up illegal, right? For example, you got pulled over without a driver's license, right?
Exactly.
Was there any avenue? Because I know, like, in California, even people who don't have papers, like Mexican guys who...
But in
who are
Tennessee,
okay, so...
it's
but
different.
for people who don't maybe kind of know a little bit of the things that I think I know, I lived in Southern California for years.
But there's a lot of Hispanics.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hispanics in Southern California especially, and I guess all I really know is that some of them actually were allowed to get driver's licenses. And so at least they could...
because of the state you're in.
They're not breaking that law.
Because in the state, it depends on the state you're in.
Right, because
exactly.
in the USA, our driver's licenses are issued by the state in which we live in. So I guess, could you kind of like spell it out for people here?
Well,
so you grew up in what state, and was there any avenue to get a driver's license with your current legal situation?
No, I mean, I was raised in Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee, Davidson County. I went to McGavock High School. I went to McGavock Elementary, and Two Rivers Middle School. And you're illegal and you don't have a social. Once you go to the DMV to try to get an ID, you cannot. They ask you for your social, so you don't have a social. But there's people that go illegally, and then they fight case. They fight their case. They get an immigration lawyer, and then they get a social, a residence. But I wasn't able to get that residence because I was brought in the States legally. And that's confusing because how can people that are illegal come in? They can get it, established, or they can get some type of status in the States. But since I came in with a visa and I ended up staying, I cannot get anything, no social. But it wasn't my fault because I was 3 years old, So I wasn't able to get no license. And then every time I get pulled over, I get citation. Depending on the cop, he'll let me go. But then there's police that, that there are assholes, and then they don't care about you being Hispanic or you being with your kids, or they don't care about your life. All they want is, I don't know if they're racist or whatever, or they just, pull you over and then you don't have no ID, you're going to jail, or they give you citations. They try to make the way to make you suffer, I guess. I don't know, but then I ended up getting deported, and then just for being illegal. And that's crazy, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I just, honestly, I'm kind of speechless because I'm sitting here trying to imagine
It's hard.
what it would be like, excuse me, to just grow up with this, like, inherent criminality from government.
You don't know that. You don't know it's gonna happen until you're getting deported and you're on that plane coming back. I was like, how am I gonna get deported? I'm like, I got kids here. I'm a welder. I got my high school diploma. I mean, I was brought here. I mean, it's not
How
that
old are you again?
I'm 32 years old. They brought me to this. Brought me here. I keep saying here. You know, they brought me to the States, and it's not something that I was like, hey, I'm gonna, get my visa and go to the States. I was 3 years old, so I mean, just because of the situation with my parents, I ended up brought to this. I ended up being brought to the States.
So we're sitting here, and it's March 11th, 2025. You came here. What was your date that you arrived here?
I think it was February 3rd, something like that. February 3rd.
Yeah.
January,
So,
February, yeah, yep. Almost 3 months.
yeah. Um, well, February 3rd to, I mean, it's March, so I
Yeah,
mean.
well, I mean, I don't know exactly the date when I got here, So, I mean, it's been like 6 weeks. I mean, I don't know
Something like
exactly
that.
the date,
Yeah.
But I've been here, and
Yeah. So it's been more or less 6 weeks.
like 6 weeks.
And all right, so I mean, I just encountered you on the streets here of Flores.
Exactly.
And how long you been in Flores?
In Flores, I've been here for like, let me see, February. I've been here like 2 weeks, going on 2 weeks. And just.
And let me ask you, are you learning
Spanish? No.
well, no. I mean, are you learning about the country like a tourist would be because you lived in the U.S. forever? Or I mean, your parents are Guatemala, your mom's Guatemala.
But I mean,
so I'm
like,
sure you know some.
but not really, because my mom was the type of person that she didn't, because she it was hard for her to speak English. All she wanted to do is, everything. I'm like, Mom, I want to watch. I remember when I was going to middle school, elementary school, I didn't speak no English. At the house, only Spanish. And then my mom was like, I want to watch something in Spanish. My mom was like, no, English. So my mom tried to teach us the way from the States, not from here, for us, I guess, to forget everything from here, or I don't know.
Yeah, or possibly just to help you integrate so you could have a better life.
Exactly.
I mean, my father didn't speak to me in his native language, and I'm sure he regrets it, and I'm also sure that part of the reason why he did it was because he wanted me to fit in.
Exactly. Well, my mom she wanted to learn English as well, and then everything she did for us is for us to be in the States, like forget about Guatemala. Because I guess in the future she'd try to get married with somebody and get, stabilized in the States, but I have an older brother that's crazy, so he was very jealous. He never let my mom be with nobody, so my mom was never able to get a social or anything like that as well, And then she passed away. My dad passed away as well, my grandparents.
So what's your ideal situation? Talk to me. Like if you could, like realistically, what's your ideal next few months look like?
My next few months may be looking like trying to get into Mexico. Even in Mexico, from Guatemala to Mexico, you got to go in illegally as well. So, and it takes money, and then, you can go, you don't need, there's a coyote that you pay to get to the States. And if you have family that got money, you have to pay 60,000 quetzales. Oh shit, 60,000 quetzales, not American dollars. It's like $5,000 or $10,000 to get to the States if you have the money. But I mean, like, where am I in the world gonna get $10,000? But there's ways getting on the train in Mexico, which is very, very dangerous, because I got tattoos and they might mistake me for a gang member or something like that. But it says Emily, and then my daughter's name, my mom's name, it says fuck love, and then they might mistake me for, yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then
I'm listening.
And then we'll get on into Mexico, and then that's my 2 months looking like, trying to get into Mexico, getting back to the States, and trying to get back to the States before Christmas. It's a lot of months from now, but that's my plan. And it takes, I have to cross all Mexico, and Guatemala's like this, and Mexico's like, sure. And it's dangerous and all of that. And then people in Mexico are racist to Central American people as well. You're Central American and you're in Mexico, they're not gonna like you. You're Honduran, you're Nicaraguan, you're Salvadorian, you're from Ecuador, you're from Costa Rica, they're not gonna, you're illegally going in the States. And that's my plan. In my next 2 months, trying to get back into Mexico, and then from Mexico, getting back to the States. Unfortunately.
It's all you know.
Well, I don't know what else to do. I mean, like here, they tell me, yeah, I stay here and work, but I mean, like if I stay here and live here, and then my kids, I mean, that's all.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I empathize with you.
Like
what the fuck? I mean, I have to believe that there's a good chance I would be trying to do the same fucking thing.
Exactly, and then
You know,
there's
I'm not
people.
trying to tell people, oh, I support illegal immigration, or
No, of course.
I don't support. No, I'm saying nothing. I'm not saying I support. I don't support. I'm just saying
It's
if
crazy.
I'm in your situation, what the fuck else am I gonna do?
I mean, that's all I know from being over there. I mean, now just go back there and work, and then eventually, you know, if I get back in the States, eventually one day I'm gonna get back sent back here. But then I'm gonna get the opportunity now that I know that I can get sent back here. I know that I can get deported. I mean, I'm gonna send money here because there's people that are like, oh, you've been in the States so many years and you never did anything here. Well, I would have never thought I was gonna get deported. That's why I don't have nothing here. If I knew one day I was gonna get deported, I would have tried to find a way to send money here. And then once I get deported, well, I got a little bit of money to survive. You know,
I mean, you don't even have family here. It's not even like you. It's not even like you go to Western Union some money to a family member. I mean,
I cannot. No. Well,
unless
I'm my baby mama can send me money, but oh hell no. She's already married with another guy. She's pregnant. So I mean, like my daughter has a stepsister, and it's crazy and it's hard, but and I still love her, you know, but I'm here and there's nothing I can do to get back there and support her. She needs somebody to support her as well. You know, my kid, you know, she's alone. She's a single mom, so I guess she did the best thing she could do, I guess.
I think everybody's ultimately doing the best that they can do.
Exactly.
I mean, some people are making more of an honest effort than others, but, you know.
But yeah.
Damn.
But that's the situation, and thank you for hearing me out.
Yeah,
man. And God bless. I mean, like, nobody has never, you know, let me express myself, you know, and let everybody know, the people. I don't know who's going to watch or whatever, but to see the situation that happens just because you're illegal.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate you sharing your story with me. I mean, I think that there is humanity to these stories. I mean, there's a human side.
You being illegal doesn't mean that you're not human.
Yeah.
But in the States, it's different.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just think a lot of people probably take a look at these situations and they just kind of look at it with no emotion.
Exactly.
They're looking at it black and white, and they're kind of I don't know, man. It's like finger pointing for their own problems. Must be because of you and your people that are here. The reason they don't have enough money or whatever, their job's not paying them enough. I think you know, some people might think, oh, it's because of this guy. I mean, it's just it's goofy.
And and
there's a variety of other reasons too. I don't claim to be like I'm not so smart that I know.
And I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one going through this. There's a lot of people going through this.
How many people do you figure? Hey, amigo, ¿qué pasó? Can't you see we're doing an interview here?
It's all right.
Anyway, so no, man, there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure more people are getting pushed out every day, every week.
Mexicans, Hondurans, from different countries. I'm not the only one that they're going through this. That they've been raised all their life in the States, and they just get a kick in the butt from the States, and you get sent back to your country because you were born here. You don't have a social. You don't have any status in the States.
Yeah.
Ishkamik, dijeron en Guatemala. Ishkamik is like, situation is gone. Like, you just get deported.
And you're convinced that your deportation got fast tracked because of Trump?
Yeah, of course. I was eligible for to get an immigration bond.
What's an immigration bond?
That I paid money to get out of immigration, and then I get out. But then as soon as Trump got elected, Trump is situation that he's going in people that their status, that they don't have any status. He's going around and deporting everybody. And I don't know why, but I don't know why he hates Hispanics. So I don't know if he hates Hispanics. I don't know if he does it to get fame or, to feel superior, to feel like he's the boss or whatever. But I mean, I don't want to, people think that I'm talking trash about Trump. Everybody, does what they have to do because it's his job, I guess. So I don't know. There's other presidents that been in the White House and then
I'm sure they'd give
they're done more for Hispanics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd give you many reasons why they're doing what they're doing, and everybody thinks that they're on the right side of history, right? I mean, so insofar as I have my own personal opinions, but I also recognize I'm not an expert in anything. I'll just, I guess, kind of refrain from spouting off my own thoughts on all this, but. I really appreciate you talking to me and allowing me to
Likewise.
Just hear you out. I mean, you're the first person I ever. I mean, shit.
Nobody has been.
I've never talked to anybody who's been to. I mean, I've been in Guatemala a month now.
In the city?
Yeah, I mean.
At the park, Zone 1. There's a lot of people like us.
Really?
In Zone 1?
Yes, I didn't spend time in Guatemala City. I was in Guatemala City a couple days ago. But
there's a lot of deportees.
I was only there for I just went to catch a bus. I was in Antigua for a couple weeks. I was in San Marcos, San Pedro, in El Lago, no? Doing tourist shit, man. Hiking mountains and wandering around. I mean, I'm doing a track, El Mirador track tomorrow. So it's trippy for me, man, to be sitting here. I'm basically in tourist mode. I mean, I'm more of a long-term tourist kind of guy.
I'm not trying to
maybe a 1-week vacation.
Record content right now, but then it was interesting. I guess to you with my story and everything. So you were like, hey.
Well, I sensed right away when you were honest with me up front. And you told me your story, man. And it's just like I'm just interested in sincerity. That's it. I'm not.
You don't judge. Because I'm illegal.
I'm just interested in the truth. Period.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man. Listen. I feel.
This dog is.
Yeah, this dog is. Hey, buddy. ¿Qué pasó?
Slap it. No, I'm not gonna. No.
I know the way it works. You just throw a little stone on the ground. You make him think you're gonna throw it, and then he goes away.
Look,
listen, people, he's
crazy.
not actually trying to throw something out.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I love animals.
Countries, bro, these dogs, they don't respond to anything else. You throw a little pebble their way, and then they go, okay, maybe.
You got street dogs here.
Yeah, you got street dogs. So anyway.
Not like in the States.
Just so you people understand, I am a dog lover.
Me too.
All right?
But once you get to Guatemala, you'll see a lot of crazy dogs. And you're not going to see the like in the States, what is it called? Where they come and pick up the dogs?
Oh,
the pound.
Yeah, the pound. Dog control.
Animal control. Animal control. Here, there's no animal control.
Yeah,
there's control.
You know what the animal control is? It's a little pebble. That's animal control.
Well, to me, it was a napkin. Don't think that I'm throwing rocks at the dog.
Oh, shit.
I love dogs and cats and cows.
Cows. There you go. I love cows too. All right. So listen. I don't. Honestly, man. Like, I could say something to you like, "Oh, I wish you the best of luck," but it feels like such an asshole thing to say to you because it's like, "Oh, fuck, man. You've got this whole fucking. I mean, your whole fucking life is. You don't know what the fuck's going on. So I really don't have anything I can say to you right now.
No.
Aside from, man, I empathize with you and I really appreciate you sharing your story with me, man.
And thank you for hearing me out.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, man.
Leonardo.
I guess that's it. Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Yeah.
Eguizabal.
Peace.
Bye, guys.